Hello, welcome back. It's Mr. Bryan's band. Good to have you back with us again. Today we're going to be talking about clarinet once again and going over a couple of things a little more in depth than we did last time. So let's get started. Let's look at our clarinet reed. This is a reed I've had for a while, and sometimes the tips, because they're so thin, will start to get a little wavy. So most reed players, this might be kind of hard to see, but most reed players have several reeds that they're working on at the same time, because you never know when a reed may go bad, might get chipped, or just really not playable for some reason, and you want to be able to go to your next one. So let's talk about reed care. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in the water. Now, of course, there are all kinds of reed bottles available online. Probably can tell this is just an old medicine bottle. And we like the thin ones for clarinet and sax, so that when it floats, it doesn't come up and get jammed. So you can see it's straight down. We'll leave it in here for a little bit. The older the reed, the shorter amount of time that you would need to soak it in the water. Probably, let's say, a minute on each side. Right now it's tipped down. If it's a newer reed, you're in the process of trying to break it in. So a couple minutes soaking in the water probably would be best. Now, talked about the tip of the reed. Sometimes getting that little wave in there. So a way to get that out by using something hard and plastic to press it on. So this is just an old restaurant card. I put in this little plastic lanyard case, and you would put it on here, and with your thumb just go across, get the tip to get back down to being in a flat position. Okay, so since I'm not playing my reed today, I'm not going to flip it over, but we're going to go ahead and pull it out and dry it off. Important to have a moist reed, but not a soaking wet reed. I was told by one of my teachers a long time ago that when you put the reed in your mouth to moisten it, it might break down some of the cane. This is, of course, is a special type of cane. It's not bamboo, but it is a special cane that they found growing in Europe, and since then have taken it to grow around the world. But of course, a lot of these reeds still come out of Europe, France. So I'm going to dry it off. We do that one swipe across the thumb, second swipe, and then open the thumb, and last, and we've got a nice moistened reed. Now, if I notice some waviness on the tip, then we would do this. Okay? And sometimes, because you have kind of dried the reed off, you can dip the tip of your thumb in the water just to get a little bit on there to help smooth that out. And by the time you're done with this process, there's not much water on there. You probably need to wipe it off just one time. One swipe on the thumb. Okay. There we go. All right, one swipe, boom, we're ready. Okay. So, this basically is like a credit card. I just put it in this case just to be able to clean it a little easier. Once again, they do sell products online for the reed instruments to put on a thicker piece of plastic to be able to work with your reed. So, showing you some of those little hacks, I guess you would call it. All right, so we're going to put the reed down for a minute and talk about cleaning the instrument again. If you remember last time, I told you about the homemade swab I made. Now, I've got to be honest with you, I didn't make it specifically for the clarinet. I made it for another instrument I play, the soprano saxophone, which is straight and has a conical bore, just like the clarinet. But when I tried this morning to get that swab through, it seemed like it might get stuck. Something you don't want to do, because then you do have to go to the instrument technician. There may be one available in your town, or there may not. So what I did was I measured my good swab, and I found that it's almost a perfect square. There Maybe if I really stretched it, it would be perfect. Let's see. That's like 11 3/4. It's not quite 12. I guess it could be 12. Let's see over here. Yeah, this is side a little shorter, about 11 3/4. So, this is the famous clarinet company, woodwind instrument company, Buffet Crampon et Cie, from Paris, France. It's funny, I used to have a Buffet clarinet, and I've got a Buffet saxophone. What about that? All right, 12 by 12, thin material. It's about as thin as a t-shirt. So, let's go back to the one you saw me drop last time, and as I was going to wash it, dry it, it's ready to go. Here it is. But it's definitely much wider. As we said, the other one was like a square, right? 12 by 12. Here we have a definite rectangle. Get an idea. Okay. So it's about 24 inches long and maybe a little less. Okay. About 12. Yeah. So more fabric there, more material is making it difficult for it to go through the instrument. Okay. So not going to try it. Just going to tell you that if you're going to make your own, please be careful. I'll continue to use this on my soprano saxophone. It's worked fine. For some reason it didn't work that well on the clarinet. So let's get back to clarinet cleaning. And after a while of putting that cork grease on that we talked about last time, you start to get a buildup down on this bottom part here. Okay? So, get a Q-tip, and that buildup, actually, believe it or not, over time it kind of turns dark. And usually when we put the cork grease on, it's kind of a cream color, whitish. But this stuff over here gets dark. I can't explain it. It's one of those great mysteries, you know? And mine apparently doesn't need a whole lot of cleaning. Let's go to the next tenon here. This is a tenon. And this one might actually need a little. Let's see. Little tiny bit of dirt. Probably can't see it. I can't see it. Okay, so great. We got this instrument clean. And, of course, you can go ahead and clean the receiving part here on the instrument. That also may get a little bit. And I got a little bit out. How about that? Okay? So, you know how to clean that. Keep your clarinet nice and clean. How about that? All right, so that was about it for our clarinet work today. I'm going to go ahead and create another video in a couple minutes on the saxophone. So, hope you got some useful information, clarinet players, and we look forward to seeing you next time on Mr. Bryan's Band.